Hello, I'm Victoria Brinkley. I'm here with Victoria Brinkley, the producer at WJTV. How you doing, Victoria?
Doing lovely. How are you?
Good. Can you give us some background information? Just tell us where you're from and how you came to be where you are now.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from West Point. I've been doing what I've been wanting to do since I was about 14, and I started taking classes in high school as far as journalism is concerned. Went to Alcorn, got a degree in mass communications, and then I went to the University of Maryland to get a master's in journalism. It's my focus. I started out wanting to be a reporter, but when I was in Maryland, I took a production class and fell in love with it and never turned back. So I feel like producers have all the fun. Woo-hoo. But I am trained behind and in front of the camera. So, yep. Right after I got out of school, I did like a temporary on-camera thing, but I got a job down here, so I came back home.
How long were you in Maryland?
I was in Maryland for 2 years. Just in my graduate program.
Did you do any newspapers, high school newspapers, or college?
I was the assistant editor for the campus newspaper at Alcorn, and then as a part of my requirements in grad school, I freelanced for a couple of papers in Baltimore and in a small town called Seabrook, Maryland. So.
Did you
what print experience?
When I was 14, I knew what I wanted to do, but it's totally different from what it is now.
Oh, I went through like a job a week, but I just kind of, came into this to it.
What made you know that this is what you wanted to do with your life?
I was the kid that always got in trouble for talking, and I was always like digging and stuff I had no business. So I figured, I may as well put it to use. And I ended up meeting a reporter at a program one evening, and I just said, oh my gosh, I want to be just like her. So I set out on that quest, and I keep in contact with her to this day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I was in high school, not high school, in elementary, Barbie Bassett came to our class. Yeah. But I didn't know that I wanted to be a journalist, and I wanted to be a doctor. I just knew. I wanted to be a doctor up until probably 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Until I figured out I don't want to cut open dead people.
Oh. Yeah. It's like when you finally cut open a dead person, you're like, you know what? I'm all right. All right.
But what, it must be, from the people that we've had in class, and they always tell us it's like something you never quit working. It's like something, I know you're a producer, but the anchors and we had Mr. Kellogg come in, and he was telling us it's like you're always on call basically. It's like being a doctor in a sense. So how do you balance it? How are you able to manage a personal life, and
well, I feel like being in this business, it works to enjoy your solitude, but you're also naturally social. So when you get burned out, you have to be willing to unplug. Like, know that when you're not at work, you're not at work. Yeah. That's a decision that you make to always be at work. Because, if you're naturally nosy like I am anyway, you're going to have to get to the ground anyway. So, I'm always reading emails. I'm always on the phone with somebody. And you just make a decision that you're going to balance. You have to work to maintain that balance.
Did it take you a long time to find that balance after you started the producer thing?
It kind of did, but I had some help along the way because my family is like from West Point, so I would just go home and at my parents' house I didn't have a signal anyway, so I didn't really have to worry about getting random phone calls because they wouldn't be able to reach me. So it was just like unplugging.
It's a cool job. I didn't think it would be so personal. I guess because I don't know, everything looks so big on TV.
Well, it's very personal. And like I said, producers have the most fun. Like, we get to be the buffer between, us and the reporters, we get to be the buffer between what the viewer sees and what actually happens.
Yeah.
Because you have to you have to use your judgment to make sure that people get the best quality product possible. Not, not fluffy, not fake, because we're going to present the facts, but we're going to make sure that you understand. We're not just going to beat you over the head with what you know. So.
That's good. You, I don't want to.
How old am I?
How old?
I'm 25. I knew it was coming.
But you're young. Did you
You couldn't erase the P2 card fast enough.
is there anything that you would change about your, what have you done so far? Would you change if you had a do-over?
I don't think so. I enjoyed every step of the way. I am enjoying every step of the way. This is what makes me. This is the star.
No, she's the star.
Last. This is Steve Schrader,
She's the one that makes it happen.
chief engineer. No, he makes it happen literally. I could do all the writing in the world, but if the power goes out or our TVs go black, that's who I got called. So.
She does. These guys here. This is what makes the station a reputation.
So we just have to make sure we don't get us sued.
Is there anybody who inspires you or anybody that you look up to that makes you want to do the things that you do and to be great like you are?
I'm not great.
Yes, you are.
Kiki inspires me. Now I'm the only person in television in my family. My mom was a nurse, my dad's a police officer, and so I'm used to, I guess, not having a stable schedule. I think it might sound
that
bad.
makes sense.
You know,
That makes
like,
sense though. Look at the job.
when you, right. When you think about, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that. I've seen people get really good at saying, "Oh my God, I have to work Christmas afterwards." Like, it doesn't faze me. Like, I turned out fine. That's to me. So it's cool just having somebody to understand it. So they're an inspiration, and then I try to learn everything I can from everybody around me. I get starstruck really easily too. So when I came out, I was like, "Oh my God."
When I saw her walk in, like, I saw somebody at, I can't think of her name, it's the East Center. I got so excited. She was like, what is it? I was like, oh, she's on TV.
Exactly.
Like, you're, to me, I know people on TV, so it's like you're a celebrity.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another reason I got to it. Because I just think it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, and it never wears off. It never wears off. So it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. You get to see how people act. So I like it because our people watch too. A lot.
I do that.
Like go to black after
Oh, yeah.
shit. So you put just a little extra on there to give you some wiggle room.
I got you.
So,
Oh man, I saw the report.
okay, so we'll go back to the medical block. It's a big old puzzle. You decide what you want to see, how you want to see it fit together, because everything is subject to change. Now, if I wanted to make the focus on my block about these foam rollers, I could move it up. And so I could have Byron say, oh, blah, 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 foam rollers. We have details in the medical watch, and then it would go straight into it. But I want the overweight stuff first. So we're going to go, Byron standing at this wall. Let me show you what the wall looks like. Byron will be standing right here, and there'll be video of, I guess, overweight people. Awkward. be standing there. And basically the story is about, you know how people used to say you could be overweight and healthy at the same time, right? Healthy at any size. Well, some study says, now they say it's a myth. That's impossible. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. I just present facts. That's my job. I'm just gonna stick to it. So, yeah, I want to do a VO, which is just video, and then we're going to put in the interview whatever the doctor says, and then continue with another VO that Byron will say, just to, kind of wrap it all up. And then we'll go to the next story, and then to tag it out, he'll say, for more health news, he'll tell you to go to our website and how to get to it. And so that's that entire block. Because after that, you go to the commercial break. So everything from one commercial break to the next is called a block. And they go in the sequence. So your first one is your A block. After your first commercial, you start the B block. Third, C, and so on. You can have as many blocks as you want, but these are built in, so we usually just have A through E, and that's all. From that, we go into, I start building my show from the bottom up, so we go from medical to national, because we don't have sports in this show. So we'll do, starting off with the train derailment. Gotta find the information for that. But we spoke to, we didn't speak to the guy, but he spoke to CBS this morning about his experience on that train. Because he only walked off with a few scratches, but 4 people died in that crash.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that, and then we'll go back to those traffic cameras. Ooh, stressful.
I just downloaded that CIA prisons.
What happens, like, say for instance, like you said, you have like an interview, the person's supposed to come in. What happens if they decide not to come? Has it ever happened? Like something happens and they can't come at the last minute?
Yeah, actually, we don't do in-studio interviews,
Oh, okay.
but we've had it happen to where, like, let's say they're out live, and they get ready to talk about what's about to happen, and it doesn't happen, like, on air, and it's my job to say, what are we going to do? And because I have 5 seconds to make a decision, like, and if I make it wrong, everybody in Jackson will see it, and everybody in our entire viewing area will see it, so you just have to decide how to make that work. Even yesterday, I told y'all Ross had to get, hold on, no, yeah, this is the IMB box. So, they have like the little coil and one try going into this stuff. They do that, and they have their own, each anchor has their own IB. I think each reporter has one too. And the directors just have to make sure they have the boxes. And I still don't know what's 1, 2, and 3. I think that's 2, that's 1, that's 3. And the chair over there might be 4. It would just depend on who has what. So we have to just make, as a producer, you have to be in communication with everybody. Because if one's IFB box isn't working, and they'll switch boxes, and now all of a sudden they're on 4. But if you don't know that, you're talking to them, and they can't hear you. So,
What's the difference between a reporter and an anchor? Is it just that they don't?
the reporters are the ones in the field.
And
The anchors are the ones that
Okay.
stay. But anchors can be reporters,
Okay, got you.
and reporters can be anchors.
Can't?
Depends on the day. They can.
Oh, they can't? Okay.
Because, like, I'm not sure if y'all know Brad Siraka, tall white guy. He's a reporter during the week, but he's an anchor on the weekend.
Oh, I got
Like
you.
Andrew Kinsey.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
So, they can flip flop.
Did you ever want to be on camera?
I started out wanting to be a reporter. I never wanted to be an anchor. It's really weird. But I wouldn't mind anchoring. I don't know. I really like producing.
Yeah.
I would rather just produce. Because, when I was freelancing reporting, like right after school, I always had to dress up. No matter how you feel, like you always had to dress up. Your hair always has to be on point. You always have to wear makeup, even if it's 100 degrees outside, or if it's raining, sleet, snowing. I just didn't feel like that. I like being in the building. I like getting where I'm gonna be and sit down somewhere and running. So, I went out that night. Because we can always go out and help the reporters if we want to. Like, I used the time that I wasn't like on my shift to do that. So when I got on work, I went out with Therese and I was like, I can help you do this. Because, I know how to use the camera, so I'm used to the reporter. I can white balance, I can do all that stuff. Y'all learn about this stuff. Like,
So it has to be. Well, I know we hear a lot. You have to be able to do everything. They tell us it all the time.
it's just the producer and the director, and everything is automated. So instead of someone giving a command and then somebody standing on the floor, everything is controlled by the system that you see down there. So those are the camera movements, and they put them in through a code, and it pops up down there. So that's what they do, and prompt is not on yet. But
Okay.
we can see where the prompter is from right here, and then we have our station, ABT, and LBT. So that way we can see what the competition is working on at any given time. And right here, you will have your live shots. So usually when we have somebody on the live show, they pop up right here, and we need to talk to them. So we use, whenever we need to talk to anybody, we use these to work, these to talk to the live shots, and then these over here to talk to the people in the studio.
And so,
I mean, it's easy. If we have to talk to them, we don't have to go like this. We can just hit all.
Okay.
But if I don't want, you know, people in the studio to know that I'm talking to them, I just hit whichever one they're on. So
you're doing the evening show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be sitting right here. Yep. And I log in. I get on EMPS just like I got on out there, and do it from there. And like I said, like I was trying to talk to Ross yesterday, and he couldn't hear me. His live shot was up, but we had 2 different people on the same one. So you have to take that into consideration too. So the girl on the other one could hear me, but she wasn't up yet. It wasn't her turn. So I had to call Ross, and I could see him picking up the phone, and his phone was like dying. So like he kept hanging up. So I just called his photographer, and I was like, "Tell him I said get ready!" Like just in a panic, like. And then sometimes we'll have people to call in and do interviews on the phone. So we have our phone line right here, and we'll call them, transfer them to that line, and then they have to punch it up down there in order for them to hear it. So we got to do sound checks and all the other good stuff. So we try to get all that done in like 20 minutes. It would be nice if we can like get it done an hour beforehand, but you never know what's going to change.
So is everything like everything that goes on like crunch time? Everything is kind of.
Yep.
That's fine though. I like that.
Yeah. Yep. And it can be stressful, but you can't let it be stressful.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, don't be nonchalant about it, but you know, don't be a butthole about it either.
Yeah.
Because we have had some people that would just make it a living hell to just, you know, do it. People that didn't like change, but you gotta be just,
Yeah, you
gotta be ready. You gotta be ready.